Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie, and this is my blog. I created this website back in high school, and I transformed it to showcase my multimedia projects. I use SiteGround via WordPress, and this is my homepage. This relates to my blog, and then this is a subscription form, and this shows that I'm a multimedia journalist. If you go over to my multimedia tab, you can click About Me, and it just gives a brief description of my major, which is journalism, and I'm minoring in global studies, that I currently write for Sidelines, and that I hope to become a news reporter and eventually become a travel journalist in my career. And then if you go down to resume, it just showcases my experience with Sidelines, that I'm a freelance reporter for them, how I started my blog and what I write about, and then my basic journalism skills, which includes website design ability, DSLR camera knowledge, editing, YouTube, Adobe, Word, things of that nature. Then there's my education and awards. And then if you go down to my contact page, I have my email as well as a form to directly contact me, and it'll send that message to my email. And then if you go down to my audio story, which I'm going to play for you all, it's how student media leads to job opportunities. And I was able to talk to people who currently write for Sidelines and who used to write for them. One ended up in PR, another writes for Newsday in New York, and then the other one's the current editor-in-chief, but she's doing an internship with the Nashville scene. This was my favorite project that I did, and I feel like it gave me a lot of really good experience with interviewing people in the field.
Student media provides students with ample opportunities to get their foot in the door with careers and internships.
Sidelines is one way that students can build their portfolios and gain experience within the journalism field.
Interview with Newsday, like my final interview with like their top editor, they brought up something I had done in college.
Brinley Heineman, reporter for Newsday in New York, was a former reporter and editor at Sidelines.
Because of my involvement with student media for 3.5 years, it set me up to get an internship at the Associated Press after I graduated.
Ashley Barrientos, current editor-in-chief for Sidelines, is now an intern for the Nashville scene.
Definitely made like a lot of connections just across the board with different professors who know different people, different media organizations, different organizations on campus even, and just like kind of broadening your network of people that you know.
James Evans, former editor of Sidelines and now the communications director for Rutherford County Schools, was formerly a reporter for the Rutherford AM as well as the Ashland City Times.
It taught me, the speed of a newsroom, that you've got to turn around, copy very quickly, arrange interviews. How to interview, that's a huge skill that is hard to learn until you just actually get used to talking to people.
This is Maddie Williams, Digital Media Skills. So yeah, that was my audio story. I really enjoyed getting to talk to them. It was a really great opportunity, especially with those who are currently working in the field. So then I have my photo story, which is about flooding on MTSU's campus. And I talked to facility services, current students, as well as a geosciences professor. I really enjoyed doing this story. The only thing I would change is moving my captions. I wasn't able to do that with the format of my website, but I would really like to not have it split between two. It didn't cut anything off, but I would like to have it like above a little bit. But that's the only thing I would change about that. And then for my infographic, I did how to reduce flooding, which is through increasing permeable pavers, reducing greenhouse gases, updating our stormwater infrastructure, and planting more trees. And then I created this little graphic here of how increased CO2 leads to rising temperatures, which creates rising sea levels, which creates more precipitation and flooding. And then if you go down to my video tab, I did how online learning makes education greener. And I talked to the director of MTSU Online, high school student, college student, as well as an MTSU professor. The only thing I would change about this is moving the captions online on this section right here. I wanted to move it over a little bit, and I wasn't able to figure out how to move that over. It just kind of had a set place, but luckily it didn't cut anything off. But I really enjoyed talking to everyone. I also used my Canon EOS 80D, which I have used for all of my projects. I also had used Zoom for my audio story for some of my sound bites. And then if you go down to this page, this showcases all of the articles I've done so far with Sidelines. I put them all on my blog on one little tab. That way people could see it in the professional field. I really enjoyed doing these projects. I feel like it gave me a lot of experience, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have broadened my horizons a little bit as far as broadcast goes.